We good? Hello, everyone, and welcome to
watching Gravity Falls for the first
time.
We did that one day.
Oh.
Hope it's on yours.
Well, I'll try to edit it.
We'll see.
The first thing I want to talk about, because Mackenzie and I are big Twin Peaks fans. Yes.
I don't have a shirt, but
and one of the reasons why we wanted to watch Gravity Falls is because we're very fond of Twin Peaks and the way you can analyze it. And so we thought Gravity Falls, based upon what little we know about Gravity Falls, that would be fun to watch and decode, and it might have the same kind of vibe as Twin Peaks. And what did we see in episode 4 of Gravity Falls?
We see a place that's it's the Heart. No, it's a card name, but it's basically it's the club. Yeah, and that was like, oh, it's the One-Eyed Jacks. And then when they walk inside, it's literally the waiting room.
Yeah. So we've got the zigzag pattern on the floors. We've got the red curtains. So Alex Hirsch or other people on Gravity Falls clearly love Twin Peaks.
Right.
So do you think there's going to be more Twin Peaks references?
Oh, please. I hope so. Well, I think it's a good sign that it's only on the 4th episode that we saw a slight reference to Twin Peaks. I think we're going to see more.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the things that happen.
Yes.
So I think that the big thing about this episode is that we see this character that I think is going to be a very important antagonist for this show, the Lil Gideon psychic kid character.
Yes, who we did talk about on the newspaper. It's tying in.
Yes.
Now, my question is, how old is Lil Gideon?
It's a good question. I think that he's Mabel's age, and the twins.
I don't know when that newspaper came out, but if we're assuming that kid, I don't know. I'm thinking that he's an actual adult. You know what I mean?
So Gideon represents sort of psychics that are making money off of people, and also traveling sort of like healers that go from town. Especially in the olden days, they would go from town to town. They'd set up a tent and they do sort of miracle making. Then there's been shows about that, like the Rainmaker. So the idea is like, yeah, if you give me money, I'm going to bring rain. There's a Steve Martin movie called Leap of Faith. Yeah, he's the same kind of showman as Lil Gideon is. Do you think that there are? Here's the first question.
Yeah.
In the world of professional psychics, do you think there's anybody that has like legitimate powers or abilities that are considered supernatural, or are they all just shysters and con artists?
That's a good question. My personal belief is that there are psychics that are legitimate, that like more like I can talk to the dead kind of people.
Okay.
But here's the stipulation though. I think that they're unheard of in the media. I think that they're just kind of like living their lives. Maybe they hear somebody's dead grandmother and then they're like, hey, your grandma's thinking of you. And they have no shop. They live normal lives and they like work at normal jobs. And they just like are a little bit more sensitive, like force sensitive.
Yeah.
So I think that there are people like that in this world that are like legitimately have some capability to communicate with the other side or to be able to like read vibes, if you will. But I don't think that there's anyone who's trying to market it that's real. But I would like to point out the very funny fact that he is pretending to be a so there's the telekinetic and then there's the telepathic. Mm-hmm. And he's pretending to be a telepathic, but he's actually telekinetic.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that he's like, there's no money to be made on making things float. Only money to be made on having a really terrible show in a circus tent where I pretend to read people's minds. But I am a telekinetic. Side note.
That's
right.
So
I love that.
He's got the medallion. And he doesn't use that medallion in the show, right?
No, he does. He makes people stand up. That's why Dipper goes, "What? How am I standing?"
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. That's why I was like,
I thought when Dipper stood up, I thought it was just sort of the
crowd.
the collective energy of the crowd.
No,
So he makes
he
them
literally
stand up.
made them stand up.
Oh, that's a good detail to
Yeah.
see.
Because he was like, I have a feeling that all of you guys are gonna stand up, and then they all stand up.
And Dipper's going like, "What's happening?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Let's talk about this is I think the hand that rocks the Mabel is the name of the episode. And so a lot of the episode is about Mabel and Gideon and the rise and fall of their relationship. Do you think that this particular episode is sort of giving, I don't know, maybe young people, not just like people like the character's age, but maybe teenagers, young adults, even maybe grown-ups. Is it giving advice about how to treat people that are I guess people that are attracted to you that you might not be as attracted to?
I think they are giving advice on that, but like in a very nice roundabout way. I don't know that it's like super good advice.
Yeah.
But I think it is good that she's like firm with her boundaries in the end. So I do like that. So it's more like the end is the good advice and the beginning's not. It's like a fable.
Well, so it's a cautionary tale.
Yes.
Because she keeps agreeing to go on these dates, and where she liked him as a friend when they were basically playing dress up.
But then she's like, "Oh yeah, we can still be friends and play dress up." And then she takes the freaking medallion. She's like, "Actually, no, not allowed."
Yeah, I love that because he's like, "We can," and she's like, "No, you tried killing my brother." Smash.
And then the little skull flies out.
Yeah, I think there's a little skull image, and I think the most amazing sort of twist that happens for me is at the end because we see that he has book number 2.
Yes, book number 2.
Book number 2. So there's
confirmation it's not an E.
It's not an E. So there's at least 3 volumes. So is your guess? Let's figure out like where we stand on this. I'm guessing that there's then a book number 1 somewhere.
Hopefully.
So there's probably a book number 1. We've seen a book number 2. There's book number 3. Maybe there's more books. Maybe the third book is the last of it. So who do you think right now? Who do you think is the author of these books?
Currently, I think it's the group of 8, as I will call them, the fictional group that I've made up in my mind. That includes the old men of the town, including Grunkle Stan. So I think that they collectively put these books together with information they found.
Okay, so that's a pretty good guess. So the group that has the
8.
Yeah. Well, it's like the letter.
There's that thing, and then there's it's like like that.
I think of it as like a little piranha.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fish. Well, it's odd that he has a fish tank and no fish.
Yeah. Well, they have a
lobster.
Except
now there's a lobster.
There's a lobster now. You and I talked about how if there's Grunkle Stan, if there's a great uncle, there's a grandfather.
Yes. Or a grandmother.
Or a grandmother. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
He could have a sister. He could have a twin sister. Like Dipper and Mabel. Like them. I think I talked about that last time too.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I like because of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Focused on twins. And we've got the Pine Twins.
Yeah. Which is similar to Twin Peaks.
Right. Twin Pines.
Because they're in the pines.
Twin Pines. I like the idea that here's my thought. So remember the first message that we decoded was Stan is not what he seems?
Yes.
So I don't know if this makes any sense or why it would happen, but let's say that Grunkle Stan has a twin.
Yes.
And it's a grandfather.
Right.
Right. So he has a brother. But for this story, so he's got a twin brother. So there's Grandpa and there's Grunkle Stan.
Yeah.
And that we think that this whole show has Grunkle Stan, the great uncle,
Yeah.
but it's
But it's
actually the
not.
grandfather.
Where's Grunkle Stan?
I don't know where Grunkle Stan is. I don't know if Grunkle Stan is tied up. I don't know if
It's like when David Tennant is Mad Eye Moody.
yeah. So that's my idea that I have. Now that going back to who wrote the book, I don't know. I'll say what I'm going to say is that Grunkle Stan wrote the book,
Yeah.
but this person that's hanging out with them is not Grunkle Stan. I'm going to say it's their grandfather.
Oh man, that's a lot.
It is a lot, but here's the thing.
Is their grandfather evil?
See, the thing is, I have no idea why there would be that switcheroo. You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, Grandpa, you're a crusty old man and you look like Uncle Stan. Why don't you just say like you're hanging out with your grandkid? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
why would you?
Unless the grandfather is supposed to be dead, or they hate their grandfather.
Oh, you know, they haven't ever talked about their grandfather being alive or not, right?
I don't think they've ever talked about their grandfather.
They've never said grandparents.
Yeah.
So if according to the family story of the Pine family, if Grandpa Pines supposedly died,
yeah,
like maybe he needed
to go undercover, and he's now Grunkle Stan.
Wrote these books and needed to go undercover.
Yeah, I feel like I constantly think in the gray areas, and so I feel like with this show, it might just be black and white, but I feel like personally, I would like it to be, yeah, things are just kind of like bad-ish, I guess. Like the gnomes were they were bad, but like were they bad? You know, like they were looking for a queen. Like at the end of the day, like is that terrible? No. If she had been like, yeah, I want to be your queen, they would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
They really just didn't take rejection well. Like at the end of the day, like
that's what the show's about so far.
It is what the show's about.
Because
it's about
little Gideon couldn't take rejection.
Yeah, so they couldn't take rejection. The old man, the beard man, couldn't take rejection.
Rejection from
his son.
Grunkle Stan had a hard time being rejected by his grandniece and nephew when they go on the boat.
The wax figures were sad that they were rejected, and so they freaking became evil. And then Gideon. It's all about rejection. We know that Gideon. Watch out for Gideon.
Yeah,
that's what we know.
I think he's definitely going to come back.
Yes, I think so too.
But the star. Did you notice the star?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
That's one of those things on the wheel.
Yes.
So, was it 6-pointed or was it 5-pointed? Because this is a 5-pointed star.
Oh, it might be 5-pointed.
Okay. So if we look at this wheel, we've seen Mabel has had a shirt with a llama.
Yes, and somebody's talked about the llama.
I think Mabel has had a shooting star shirt. It seemed like that was one of the first ones.
Yeah. We haven't seen the ice yet. We haven't seen the glasses. We've seen Zeus has a shirt with the question mark on it. And we've seen the hand a lot. So I don't know what the heart is, but I'm guessing if we're going with the this is a show that's all about rejection. It's a little mended heart, so maybe
that's you know what's interesting about that heart is that it could be a stitched heart. Yeah, so I guess a stitched up heart makes the most sense. So that could be some kind of Frankenstein thing, or it could be something else.
But none of the other symbols are like that important to the story so far, if that makes sense. Like they're more representative of characters than they are of things.
It's sort of like it's showing us like, hey, we're going to see these things.
Yeah, these are people.
Yeah.
They're like, because there's the Dipper's hat, there's the Zeus's shirt, Mabel's llama.
Oh, that's right. The tree is Dipper's hat.
Yeah. Zeus's shirt, the hand on the book.
Ice machine. I mean, is there an ice machine?
I don't know what the ice is. No, not yet.
It's like a bag of ice that's torn. I'm very interested.
I want to know more about that, for sure.
I wonder if the heart that's stitched together is supposed to be Wendy, since she talks about all those different guys.
Maybe. Oh, that'd be kind of sweet. I like that.
All right. Well,
Interesting.
so I hope we can watch episode 5 next time.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do it. And then I am free tomorrow if you want to do it tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's try
Heck
to
yeah.
do that.
Let's try and do it tomorrow.
You want to like aim for 10 o'clock? Like we should.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay. And if your plans change, then don't worry about it. Just let me know.
Okay. Well, they shouldn't. So.
All right.
All
Okay.
right.
I love you.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Your mother says she loves you.
Love you too, Mom.